Stevens.
I'm Jenna Stevens.
And I'm Marona Hall.
Welcome to the Walden Lake Elementary Morning Show. Please pause for a moment of silence.
Thank you.
Today is Friday, May 16, 2025. On this day in history in the year 1860, the Republican National Convention selected its candidates for the 1860 president election. The Republican National Convention was held in Chicago, Illinois from May 16 to May 18. Its purpose was to nominate the Republican Party candidates for president and vice president for the 1860 election to be held in November. The convention selected former House Representative Abraham Lincoln of Illinois for president and Senator Hannibal Hamlin of Maine for vice president.
Here's Eli with today's weather.
The weather forecast for today is sunny with a high of 94, a low of 68, and a less than 10% chance of rain.
Thank you, Eli. May's core value is initiative. Initiative is seeing what needs to be done and doing it without being asked.
This week's science vocabulary definition was a series of changes that a living thing goes through from the beginning of its life to death. The answer is life cycle. This week's primary champion is Miss McLeod's class, and the intermediate champion is Miss Lunk's class. Congratulations.
Continue to read using your classroom library, accessing ebooks on MyOn and Boundless through our district library media catalog. Read every day equals.
Here's your joke for the day. What is a politician's favorite exercise? Running for office, of course.
Did you know the presidential ticket of Lincoln and Hamlin went on to win the 1860 general election? Amazing.
Today's lunch is pizza sticks, brunch for lunch, assorted chef salad, fresh baby carrots, sweet peas, 100% juice slushing.
We'd like to welcome Mrs. Field to the show today.
Good morning, Eagles. I hope all our fifth graders survived yesterday's Busch Gardens trip. Sounds like you guys had an amazing time. I've heard about all the incredible roller coasters, and apparently the food was amazing and everybody got wet and all that good stuff. So I'm glad you guys had a great time. I'm going to recognize a couple of folks. Just a heads up for future reference, I had a whole bunch of friends who brought in challenges that had been completed that included ebooks that they had backlogged a whole bunch of. Just a heads up, if you read a book that's a Just Right book or a book that is part of a challenge, it doesn't have to be a hands-on book. It doesn't have to be an actual paper book. If it was an ebook, it counts, because a bunch of these that I'm getting were from ebooks that I guess hadn't been kept track of. So it was a little bit overwhelming yesterday. I am super excited that you did all this reading. Just keep in mind for next school year, if it's an ebook and it is a Just Right book for primary intermediate, or it is a book that is part of a specific challenge like SSYRA, SSYRA Junior, or either of the FLA challenges, it's going to count, even if it's an ebook, because it's a book and you read it, as long as you read it, understood it, and your teacher signed off on it. Okay, so I get to recognize Colton Bennett in Mrs. Fernandez's class for completing a primary reading challenge, Braden Petty in Miss Thompson's class for completing an intermediate reading challenge, Rebecca Igbinoson in Miss Thompson's class for completing an intermediate reading challenge, Perla Ortiz Lopez for completing an intermediate reading challenge in Miss Wentz class. In Miss Thompson's class, Mason Mathis completed 2 intermediate reading challenges with backlogged ebooks. Jade Allen and Miss Thompson's also had a bunch of backlogged ebooks. And Danny Nolasco Gallardo had a bunch of backlogged ebooks. So congratulations. Colton Bennett, Braden Petty, Rebecca Igbinoson, Perla Ortiz Lopez, Mason Mathis, Jade Allen, and Danny Gallardo. Great job. Your names will be up there as soon as I get a chance. I got a lot going on today. Also, congratulations to Miss McLeod's class and Mrs. Lunk's class for submitting the correct science vocabulary answer to a series of changes that a living thing goes through from beginning of its life till its death, which was life cycles. All right, we'll find out next week who our newest attendance winners are. That's our bell. The library hours are different for check-in. I really need you to pay attention to that because I've got other things happening. Books, we are open for book return from 10 o'clock today until 12:45. Any other time, there are things going on in the library that we do not need to have other folks in except for the people who are scheduled to be in there. All right, so our student who is our Beat the Bell number is student number 3. Student number 3, congratulations. Have an awesome day, Eagles, and enjoy your weekend. Back to rank.
Thank you, Mrs. Field.
Please stand for the pledge.
Attention, salute, pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
This has been
Jenna Stevens.
Interona Hall.
Unleash your champion as an everyday Eagle.